Hello and welcome back to the Old Charles. Today we are going to take a very deep dive into a coin that literally hundreds of millions of you have in your pocket right now, or in a jar on your dresser, or sitting in the dark corner of your car's cup holder. It is the seemingly completely ordinary, utterly common 1983 Jefferson Nickel. It is 5 cents. It is worth 5 cents. You can go to any store in the United States and buy 5 cents worth of something with this coin. That is its face value. But, and you knew there was a but coming, the world of coin collecting is never that simple. The value of this little piece of metal can swing from being completely worthless to being worth hundreds of dollars, and in one incredibly specific scenario being worth over $15,000. So how do you tell the difference? How do you know if your 1983 nickel is just a nickel or a small treasure? That is exactly what we are going to figure out over the next 20 minutes, that we need to become detectives. Coin detectives. And our case file is this 1983 nickel. To understand its potential value, we have to understand three critical things. Number 1, the mint that made it. Number 2, the metal it is made from. And number 3, and this is the big one, any tiny little mistakes the mint might have made when they struck it. So let's start with the mint. On the reverse of the coin, on the tails side, if you look to the left of the building Montebello, you will see a small letter. That letter tells you which of the United States mints created the coin. If you see a letter P, that means it was made in Philadelphia. If you see a letter D, it was made in Denver. It is that simple. Now, for most years, one mint might produce fewer coins than the other, making that mint mark slightly more valuable to collectors. But for 1983, both mints produced enormous quantities. The Philadelphia Mint made over 460 million nickels with the P mint mark. The Denver Mint made over 461 million nickels with the D mint mark. So just based on mint mark, we are talking about two of the most common coins ever produced in modern history. So if you have a regular 1983 P or 1983 D nickel in average circulated condition, meaning it has been in people's pockets and has some wear on it, it is worth 5 cents. Its face value. Maybe a collector would pay 10 cents for one in absolutely perfect uncirculated condition, but that is about it. So if mint mark was the whole story, this video would be over. But it is not. Because we have to talk about metal. From 1942 to 1945, during World War II, the United States needed nickel for the war effort, so they changed the composition of the 5-cent coin. They removed the nickel and made them out of an alloy of 56% copper, 35% silver and 9% manganese. These are called wartime silver nickels, and they are very distinct and have a large mint mark above the dome of Monticello on the reverse. That is not our coin. Our 1983 nickel is made of the modern composition, which is 75% copper and 25% nickel. It is a copper core plated with a nickel alloy. So no precious metal value there. The metal in a 1983 nickel is actually worth less than 5 cents in melt value. So again, if metal was the whole story, this video would be over. But it is not. Because now we get to the good part. The mistakes. The errors. The things that can take a 5-cent piece and turn it into a coin worth a used car. This is where you need to get out your own 1983 nickels and that magnifying glass. We are looking for errors. And for the 1983 nickel, there is one error that towers above all others. It is the king, the holy grail, the superstar of modern nickel errors. It is the 1983 double die reverse. A double die occurs when the hub, the master tool that imprints the design onto a working die, slips slightly during the process of creating. Result is that the working die has a doubled image on it. And then every single coin that is struck by that faulty die will have that same doubling. It is not a mistake that happened once, it is a mistake that happened to every coin from that specific die, which could be tens of thousands of coins. But most of them went into circulation and got spent and lost and worn down. For the 1983 double die reverse, the doubling is most prominent on the reverse of the coin on the building Monticello. Look at the words United States of America. You will see a distinct shadow or doubling, particularly on the letters E and S in States and the A and M in America. It is also very visible on the motto E pluribus unum. The doubling is clear and dramatic. It is not a subtle thing. If you have a 1983 nickel and you see this doubling, you have a very valuable coin. That how valuable? A circulated example of the 1983 double die reverse nickel can be worth between $200 and $500. If you have one in pristine uncirculated condition, the value can shoot up to over $1,500. That is $1,500 for a single nickel. Now this error is known for both the P and D mints, but it is significantly more famous and valuable for the Philadelphia Mint P version. So that is the big one. But it is not the only error. That we also have the 1983 double die obverse. This is where the doubling appears on Jefferson's portrait on the front of the coin. This is a much rarer and more subtle error. You would look for doubling on his hairline, his eye, or the word liberty. This error is less famous than the reverse doubling, but it is still a substantial find and can be worth over $100 even in circulated condition. Next we have the repunched mint mark or RPM. This is when the mint punched the little